Hey YouTube, how is it going? I hope all is well. So I'm gonna try to make this video very short, mainly because we really just don't need to go over much. I am not gonna try to turn this video into a 10-part series. I have already kind of introduced this amplifier build, so what you're about to see on the screen over here is not really going to be new to you, but this is a part that I really didn't go over in the last build, if you will. Let's see if this is going to work for me. It's just an important part. I may have mentioned in the other video series that if you are working with Schemit or some of the other companies, I imagine would have some sort of circuit building or schematic building, website or something like that. DigiKey, which I'm not affiliated with, I'm not trying to oversell them or anything, but they have a very cool tool. It is called Schemit, and it works really well for tube amplifiers, because all the parts in there that they have available in the the software that they offer up has a lot of the stuff that you need to build a guitar amplifier. So you don't have to dig too hard, and it flows pretty easy. You can build a schematic in a pretty short period of time, even if you are not very learned on how schematics work and stuff like that. My hope is that it's going to play nice with me, so we're going to transition over to here, which is the screen that you're looking at now. Obviously you see the same schematic, but obviously we can see all the other stuff around it. What I'm going to do is go right to here, which is the BOM, which stands for Bill of Materials. And the only reason I'm getting at this is because it in the other video series I talked briefly about getting a list of the items that you need in order to purchase them, and you're going to see how that comes in a moment. In the last build I didn't show you a box, I just showed you literally all the parts strewn about the table here. And you can see I got some other parts here that have arrived in the mail. So we're going to hit this guy right here, which is the BOM, and it will show you a list of all the parts, and it'll give you kind of a thing. So there's 49 parts on this page, and not all of them are actual parts that you have to have. So let's see here, diode general, yep, resistor R11. So it goes through and it shows you everything. So a port output pin, obviously those do not count as an actual part. It's just they label it in there for whatever reason. Now what's nice about this software, if you choose to use DigiKey to buy all your stuff, is obviously you can buy parts, you can add it to your list, you can get a quote, you can export it, yada yada yada. There's all kinds of things that you can do to expedite the buying process of all of these parts here. I tend to go to Antique Electronic Supply, so you can see that they're pretty much first on my list here. Bank is number 2. You got to make sure you got to have the funds for all this stuff. So you go to Antique. We already went over this in the last video, by the way. But you go to Antique Electronic Supply, and then with that list that you now have, that maybe you print it out, or you can quickly come over here and go, hey, what do I need anyway? So I need, R2, whatever. You need 5 of them. I wish it was a little bit more in depth. I think that you can tell it to spit out the value, but I think you need to you may need to be signed in order to make that happen. I'm not signed in at the moment, but either that or there's a way to go in here and actually tell it. So this is what it is. The reason it's not spitting out any values is because I never told it what the value was. So if you go in there and say this is a 200K, when you're doing the thing, and you can put include in BOM, right? Again, I think you got to be signed in to do some of these features, but let's say we enter that, we hit OK. I'll bet if we go over here to the BOM, it should update and we'll have something that tells us a value. Maybe not. But the more thorough you are on, there it is. So R4 is that resistor, it shows you the value. So if you go through all these parts here, the capacitor, you can label it whatever you want, or you can click on it and you can go value 50 UF and yada yada yada. So there you have it. So just as kind of a heads up, that's how you can quickly build a BOM. I'm kind of glad I got to show you that. I never really bothered with that because I just kind of write down a list of my own. I mean, when you're looking at an amp like this, there's only so many values that you go through. So I obviously have a stock of values that I have. So I just go through and kind of quickly eyeball what they are, go over to Antique Electronics Supply, go to capacitors, and slam out, I need whatever that value is times 10 or whatever, and then go to the cart, update it, and buy it. So you get through Antique Electronics Supply. If they don't have what you want, you need to go to another place, and I usually will end up going to Tube Depot. Tube Depot has a lot of the stuff that Antique Electronics Supply doesn't have, and vice versa. This is the place you will go if you want to get maybe some of the more ultra premium stuff. So if you go parts and accessories, you can go over here and you'll see resistors and capacitors and all that stuff, and then you can go over here and you can go metal film. Just like Antique Electronics Supply, you can put in different things. I like the Dale brand stuff. For this amplifier, I did not do this. I didn't go this route with it. I have enough in stock that I could without having to purchase any more, but you can go into here and then you can acquire whatever values you need. Same thing with the capacitors. Tube Depot has a lot of different things that Antique Electronics Supply does not have. So you can kind of, bounce between these two, and of course there's other places that offer some of this stuff as well. So there you have it. Between those two places, you can generally find everything you need. Now for me, I was able to get everything I needed to build this amp through Antique Electronics Supply. So let's see what you get in the mail when you do that. Now I have some extra parts here. I realized when I was going through my stock that I didn't add these to the BOM and therefore didn't order them, or at least when I was going through the BOM I didn't order them. If you know me at all, I like probably over engineering things a little bit too much. I am using from now on True One stuff from Neutrik, if you will. So I use the True One stuff. I think it is definitely a step above the IEC crap, although IEC has never really failed many people in the field. I feel this is definitely a more quality part. It will never fail. I know that it will not be a problem. And I just think it makes the amp a little more, I don't know what the word for it is, bespoke or something like that. Whatever. That's my thing. It's a me thing. You don't have to like it, but you also don't have to buy the amp, so there. Anyway, so you go through Electronics Supply. Let's go back to the camera. So here's an empty space here, and kabonk. What you end up with is this giant box, and I know in this camera screen here it's filling up the whole damn thing. So what do you get with that? Well, let's bust out our razor blade and open it up and see what we got. I know it's kind of a shitty thing. This is as tall as my stand goes. I'm sorry, I apologize. So yeah, whatever. It's a box opening video, and like you kind of already know what's in a box opening video. Somebody opens a box and there's shit inside of it. All right, so when it comes, let's move the beer out of the light. We don't want any sacrilege happening today. Not on my watch. So it's gonna come filled with paper, and between all of that paper is going to be parts. Whoa, there we go. So they managed to stuff a lot of the parts inside of the chassis. So let's set that aside for a second here. Here's probably one of the transformers. And is there anything else in this box here? Let's put that there. I'm not seeing anything else in the box. Looks like that is the entirety of everything, which is very disappointing. There's probably 2 transformers in this box. So, just as an FYI. Another piece of paper. So it's very well packaged. All the small components are here in this little baggie. So we'll throw those there. Oh, I get some swag. what's up with this? So Hammond, huh? So Hammond apparently is starting to hand out some swag through their vendors. This amp has all of 2 tubes. So we got a couple of JJs here. I like JJs. I know there's some people that don't. All I can say is that I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with JJs. You can't go wrong. So this is obviously what I'm going to use. I like using turret boards. I thought about doing this and building it, you know, direct or whatnot. You know, point to point, like literally point to point, not, you know, off a turret board. But I prefer this. They are much easier to work on. If you ever do have to fix this amplifier, having a turret board just makes it a little bit easier. I build my amps to last a lifetime. I'm hoping that by the time this amp needs any major repairs, I'll be dead. So, you know, the next guy that comes across this amp to work on it or whatnot, you know, he's gonna go, oh, this is so nice, I love it, thank you. I went with a 2-inch tall chassis, mainly because I need to try to compact this amp a little bit into the space that I have. I am building a combo amp, but I do not like to have my chassis hang upside down, so I don't want the tubes hanging down off the bottom. I'm going to build it upside up, so when you're looking at the amp, everything's going to be standing upright. So it's going to make the amp a little bit taller, and then, you know, it's a me thing again, so that's just why I do it like that. So they boxed up my transformers, which is kind of cool. I like that. I have found another transformer company that I think is going to make transformers the way I like them to be, which is, you remember in the build series I was bitching and moaning about the wow, those are almost identical in size. That's how you know you're doing it right. Your power supply is about the same size as your output transformer. In either case, I was bitching and moaning that these guys here have paint on the leads, and I'm wondering right now if I boned myself. When I ordered this power supply, I didn't check to see if it came in the vertical mount, whatchamacallit. I think maybe. Oh boy, it's just gonna be stubborn. Come on, baby. I know you want to open. There it goes. All right. So I didn't check to see if it had the standoffs to make sure it can go vertical. It does. I am lucky in that regard. So, oh, it's so cute. It is so cute. Oh my god, it's the cutest little power transformer. Look at that little baby. Oh, it's like it fits in the palm of my hand. That is cute. All right. Wow, there you go. So this is our output transformer here. You can see our blue and brown there. There's our primaries, and then we got our secondaries here. This one has a couple of extra leads on it. I have to look into that and see a little bit more about what that's about. But this one goes from 4 to 32 ohm is what it is. So I think it's the white that's the 32 ohm. So it's got one more tap in there than I need, but whatever. So we'll deal with that later. So cool. I won't really know for 100% sure if this guy is going to work until I build the amp completely. Again, based on the math I did, this one should just work out. If not, I'm going to have to order another one. I'm a little fearful though, because this is a very small cute. I don't think I've seen a power transformer that small. Then again, I didn't really look at the original one in the amp, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So I want to stop the video here. I'm going to say thank you so much for tuning in, and obviously, you know, this is what you get when you order it. There's going to be enough to build probably a couple amps out of all the parts that I bought, but so I bought, you know, 2 switches instead of just one. I was starting to run low, but you know, obviously you don't need 5 of these guys. You might only need 1 or 2. So, and a lot of times I only needed 1 knob for this amp. I bought 4. So even with all these extra parts that I purchased, it only cost about $300-400 bucks. So I should not have any problems whatsoever being able to build a couple of these amps in short order. I only need a couple of these guys, so there you have it. In either case, thank you so much for sticking with me, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.